The back of the page is my new domain, because one sheet could no longer handle the strain of the burden that I displace. The worry and the disgrace, the embarrassing distaste left behind. It drove me out of my mind to find that hip-hop love is the choking kind, the all-up-in-your-face joking kind, the words that are left unspoken kind. Soaking my lines in sarcasm, hurling like javelins without a care to where it's traveling. I figure wherever they land is where the word association will be in demand. We got more rhymes than there's grains of sand, and we all dig playing in the traveling band. Backhand the rapper if the show is bland, just because we can. But understand, we don't want to spread violence, that's not the plan. We want to build with other crews and expand like a fat man's waistband on Thanksgiving. Robert Altman type props is how I'm living. Copycat rappers get cut like ribbons. Half day closing without Beth Gibbons. Fibbing about your bank account amount won't impress me. Let's see you get debt free. Well, the bottom drops out from the music industry, and your GED won't hit a J-O-B, since he spelled quick without the C on the standardized test. People that suffer for much less. Everyone's trying their best to be head above water and be in the black next quarter just to get by. And I mean bare necessities everyone hopes would be readily available in our stable society. But I step outside and the people eyeing me see an opportunity for spare change. Big business makes mad profits. I find that such a strange imbalance. Insane challenge for folks to comprehend. So they pretend that the problem isn't there. Stay unaware by choice. And in exchange for your voice, you get a trip to the house of stained glass. Credit card for buying your gas. Promotion and social class. Wedding day to play at last. Come home to white fence and green grass. Little red Corvette that you could drive fast around the corner. Hoping that you won't crash, because the little red thing costs so much cash. It'd be a downright shame to turn it into trash. I find that a sad existence. Therefore I calmly put up resistance. Making it intense is key. Basically I'm obsessive compulsive to that which I find repulsive, that which offends me, that which does harm and acts friendly or any other guise. The messenger with devious eyes and a fresh new batch of his lies. Arbulos ojos, your girls and guys, for the time has come to get wise to the facts. These politicians ride our backs with a reckless abandon, getting money hand over fist, forget protecting our interests. All they know is politics of the business. We must act as recipient and witness at the same time for our difficult climb.
I know, man, I'm standing here right now. If you didn't think about it before, think about it now. If you didn't think about it before, goddamn now, stop about it.
Hey guys, this is KTSW 89.9. You're listening to Other Side Drive, and my name is Kimberly. You just heard Head Above Water, and that is by Chief, and the Doomsday Device is his special device he uses to help create that kind of song, the hip-hop sound. It is some really great music, and we have him here in the studio for an interview that we will jump into in just a couple moments. Before that one, you heard, let's see here, you heard Friction by Echo and the Bunnymen, and it is the bottom of the hour, so it is our time for...
And now KTSW presents your weather update.
It's the weather update. Bottom line, basically, it is pretty hot out. We've got a high of about 97. Tonight it'll dip down to the low 70s tonight, and it looks like for the next couple days and your weekend, it looks like it's about the same. Doesn't really look like very high chances of rain, but let's keep our fingers crossed for that in the future. All right, here in just a second, we're going to jump into the interview with Chief and the Doomsday Device after these messages.
Support for KTSW comes from Buzzmill Frontier Diner, presenting Curtis Clogston and Friends Bluegrass Night every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Buzzmill Frontier Diner, 194 South Guadalupe Street, and on Facebook and Twitter at Buzzmill San Marcos.
Remember running through the water sprinkler when you were a kid? Back then, we took water for granted. But we can't take it for granted anymore, and the city has a wide variety of water conservation programs, including irrigation system checkups, public and school education opportunities, and rebates for installing rain barrels and efficient toilets. But San Marcos is still experiencing year-round drought. You can help prevent the drought just by taking shorter showers and fixing leaks. Do it for the next generation. Our planet, our responsibility. A message from KTSW, the other side of radio.
Get ready for Jim Metzner to take you on a worldwide adventure.
From mosquitoes to mountains, there's no better place to get your fix of sounds from Mother Earth.
Pulse of the Planet brings you daily sound portraits from our oh-so-fantastic stomping grounds.
Rhythms of nature, culture, and science, illustrated by sound portraits and interviews, will be sent through 89.9 to align your heartbeat with the planet.
So tune in at 2 p.m. weekdays to get your craving for Mother Earth satisfied with Pulse of the Planet.
Don't just tolerate nature, be one with nature.
Hey guys, we're back. This is KTSW's Other Side Drive. My name is Kimberly, and in the studio we have Chief.
Hey, how's it going?
Doing pretty well. And you didn't bring your Doomsday device with you.
I didn't today, and I'm coming straight from work. So the Doomsday device is in the air conditioning at home.
Gotcha. Now, we have you in the studio because you are doing an event at Tantra it's every Friday night, correct?
That's correct,
Awesome.
yes. Doing a hip-hop night known as Escapism Plan, where basically just take people through the full spectrum of hip-hop, different regions, different time periods. And then we bring out my friend's pop-up record shop known as Bad Ingredients as well, in case anybody's feeling like digging through some vinyl themselves.
Gotcha. And we did just play one of your songs right before the break there. That was Head Above Water. So tell us a little bit about how you got into hip-hop and producing music. You actually did used to work here at KTSW a few years ago.
That is correct, yes. Back when I went to school here, I had a hip-hop show called Underground Sounds. That might have been every Friday night as well, if I remember correctly. But I've always been a fan of hip-hop. Grew up really loving it. My parents were into it, so I kind of had a pipeline that way. And when I came up here and started doing the show, I met an individual named Renee Rodriguez who hooked me up into a band called Liquid Stereo Project, which really vaulted the performance level into a whole nother level. And, it's all been a big downhill ride from there.
Well, you've been producing for quite a while now, your own music and everything. How do you think that has kind of evolved? Has your sound kind of changed in any way over the years?
I would say it's changed. As I've gotten to be a better producer, I've gotten a little braver with the sound, a little less conventional, if you will. I do like collaborating with other producers as well, just to sort of keep some variety in the sound. But as far as my own work, I'd like to think that it's grown and evolved, and the sounds have sort of morphed into something bigger than when I was first making them.
Yeah, definitely all about that change. And, you've been making music for quite a while now. Do you have any, recent albums that we'll be kind of hearing right about now, or anything that you're working on in the future?
I am working on quite a bit. I actually just in 2016 went through my first full year without releasing an album in probably about 7 or 8 years. I had been releasing 1 or 2 projects a year for a while. And last year I kind of took some time off from the writing side to work more on the visual side of things. But this year I'm working with a handful of producers from a collective called Exploded Drawing out of Austin, and have about 3 or 4 projects in the chamber that hoping to get out before this year is over.
Yeah, wow. And you do have your own website, I actually saw, and you mentioned doing the video as well as the audio, and I can definitely see that you've already kind of created some, different multimedia things, different videos to add with your music. Do you do all that yourself, or is there anyone that helps you out with the audio visual part of it?
A lot of the audio visual part I do. For the last couple of projects, I've been working with a local filmmaker named Jeffrey Garcia, just to, kind of help grow that scope in the same way that I've been trying to make the music scope grow. So, it's nice to not just have every shot be a static shot now.
Yeah.
Got somebody that can kind of help me with composing shots.
That's very cool. And about your website, I noticed it's got a lot there. It's kind of like a blog. It's got multimedia. It's got all of your audio, and pretty much everything that is Chief and the Doomsday Device. And you just run that website by yourself. I mean, that's a lot of content to kind of keep up with.
It is. Yeah, I figured though it was easier than being like, oh, if you want to hear my music, go to Bandcamp or SoundCloud, or if you want to check my video, go to YouTube, or if you want to see me on Facebook. this way I can just send everybody to chiefandthedoomsdaydevice.com, and then they can sort of explore from there and figure out where they want to go.
Oh, yeah. There's plenty of links to just kind of branch off to see everything that you do as far as your art, whether it is video, audio, and as far as your music itself, what exactly is the Doomsday Device?
So the Doomsday Device is sort of this, it's kind of a red herring, if you will. It's meant to sort of make the project sound bigger than it is in terms of like the number of people involved. Because I didn't just want to be, I've always been Chief. That's been a nickname that's been around forever, but that just seemed kind of boring for a solo artist. And I was trying to figure out some sort of way to make it intriguing and make it interesting. And Dr. Strangelove by Stanley Kubrick is a movie that I love quite a bit. And they mentioned the Doomsday Device over and over and over in there. I was like, you know what? That's got a nice ring to it. I think I can work with that. And yeah, that's helped in terms of figuring out what I want to do as a solo artist, applying a moniker like that.
So it's really kind of made your music more unique to you.
Very much so, definitely.
Now, the Doomsday Device itself, it's kind of like a mixer sort. It's kind of like what we have right here as far as a soundboard. Sort of.
I guess if it was a tangible object, there's a couple of suitcases that I employ, and within those suitcases I use sort of whatever materials that I need for my live project, whether it be like there is a mixer in there so that I can sort of mix on the fly in a DJ-esque realm. And then other than that, it's different sort of trigger devices and music players and whatever I can fit in to make the noises I want.
Gotcha. So you definitely do have that unique kind of sound. I'm sure your performances are really great too. And so you have that event coming on. It is, what was the name of that again?
Escapism Plan.
Escapism Plan. And that is at Tantra on Friday nights at what time?
Correct. From 7 o'clock to 10 o'clock.
Gotcha. And you're also, this isn't set completely in stone yet, but we are pretty sure that you are going to be the one of the headliners at our Back to School broadcast concert, which is going to be a really cool thing too.
Yeah, as far as I know, both sides are working towards making that happen. I believe that's late August. So out at Sewell Park, it'll be nice to get another performance under my belt out there.
Yeah, that's going to be really, really fun. Have you done any other like really big performances? Where have you kind of toured around?
Yeah, I've done both some big ones locally and then with different projects that I've been a part of. I've toured to different realms. Some of my older groups have made it as far as overseas to like Europe.
Oh, really?
Yeah. As a solo project, the furthest I've made it is on the East Coast and some of the South.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
What is it like touring? Do you get kind of a different vibe from audiences in different places?
Touring is really cool because nobody really has a like weighted opinion ready for you. You get a very pure sort of sense of what your music is about and how people react to it,
Gotcha. It's kind of like a blank slate.
Exactly, yeah. There's no vested interest in terms of a crowd, They're not like, I'm going to hurt this guy's feelings, because most people figure they're probably never going to see you again. So you get very honest opinions. So when things go positive, it's excellent, very inspiring. Makes you want to keep doing it.
Do you have like a favorite memory from when you were touring?
Man, I remember this one could have turned into a bad memory actually, but one of the times we were in New York, we were playing a event out there called End of the Week, and we thought we had everything set up equipment-wise and ready to go. And literally 5 minutes before we were about to start, we realized the equipment wasn't compatible.
Oh.
So everybody was kind of freaking out. But we just grabbed like a crate full of records and just started grabbing instrumentals and mixing live. And everybody jumped on and we ended up giving a really solid performance as well as a really organic one because it was all happening right there on stage.
That's so cool. Very spontaneous too. And it really proves as an artist like your skill when you can really just jump into it even without being prepared.
Exactly, because everything's not going to work the way you want it to all the time. So sometimes you got to be prepared to just take that leap of faith on stage because you've made it that far. There's no need to just shut it down at that point just because a machine's not working.
Definitely. Got to work around it.
Exactly.
Well, you've been over on the East Coast. You've been doing these big events. Where do you see yourself going in the future?
Really, in the future, I would like to continue. I'll probably phase a little out of traditional hip-hop rap music and kind of go more towards a instrumental producer-based sound. And then it's all been working towards eventually making films. So that's where really working on the music videos and short films and stuff is headed towards. So I kind of like to be able to create in several different aspects. And
definitely kind of become like a well-rounded artist, right?
Exactly, yeah. And an artist in the true sense, not just like a musician or a filmmaker, but...
Gotcha. Well, I mean, we can get another listen to some more of your art. If you don't mind, we can play Mission to Madness, this one right here.
Yeah, Mission to Madness is probably cool.
All right,
it's probably a little dated. It might have some old political references in it, but it's, the more things change, the more things stay the same.
Gotcha. All right, well, this is one of his older ones, Mission of Madness. Give it a listen and enjoy. We'll be right back in just a moment.
Dig this.
These are the times that try men's souls. The summer soldier and the sunshine patriot will, in this crisis, shrink from the service of his country. But he that stands it now deserves the love and thanks of man and woman.
Tell them, brother.
The phony, tough, and crazy brave have aligned in the music that they make drives me out of my mind. Every time that my ears are subjected, Big Brother's torture device that is aiming to slice reality from his firm grip on my mentality. My hands aren't strong enough to cover my ears from the years of abuse. So what's the use in complaining about the monster we've produced? Down on the street it's loose and runs rampant. Then with such ease, we planted the seeds of illusion. And it's grown into a problem of great magnitude, no way of resolving. Spun out of control, lost soul with a heavy agenda. Great pretend to meet the populace, dead set on stopping this for a progression of the ones who receive the oppression and abuse. I don't see the use in complaining if the name calling and the finger pointing is remaining. Closed minds training one another for a battle of attrition. Friendly fire-based mission of madness, closing out a decade of sadness. The emperor's new clothes cut off his access to rational thought. His mind and his spine are a yellow streak disguised as a hard line.
More than acts of terror. 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 More than acts of terror.
Hand over fist, top name on a VIP blacklist, cause I studied the tactics. I don't need my news delivered by actors. I don't need war with private benefactors. It used to mobilize a nation, now all it does is add to the working man's frustration. Echoes of a bygone era. Communism has a little brother that the world calls terror at the moment. Ism's the main component. They stomp on the world like they own it. I wish I wasn't in the path, because when them nunchucks swing, we're all gonna have to face the wrath. Statues crumble for me like McGrath in a sense. Nothing is spared at my expense. Funny thing is, I see no benefits, not even fringes, before my door bust off the hinges. The world can't wait. They'll scoop us all up and it'll be too late to circulate our opinion. Number one amendment benefit the so-called American living. If you don't hide, you were driven to the side. Of course this type will use force to collide with the opposition. They don't have time to listen. Business comes first on this simple mission.
More than acts of terror. 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 More than acts of terror.
All right, guys, this is KTSW's Other Side Drive. My name's Kimberly, and I'm in the studio with Chief. And you're known as Chief in the Doomsday Device. That was Mission of Madness right there.
Correct.
And that was one of your older ones.
Yeah, that was from The Weather Underground. Mm-hmm. That's probably the most political of all my albums.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And now kind of going through your website a little, because that's kind of where you can find all your content, everything that you produce, any kind of art that you make is going to be on there. I also noticed there was a tab called trains.
Yeah.
What was kind of I read that trains used to be kind of a nuisance, which they are to a lot of people, but they've kind of become an inspiration for you. In what ways have trains inspired your music?
Well, I've always been a huge fan of graffiti. Like, growing up as a young kid in the early 80s in the hip-hop culture, you get into all of it, DJing, graffiti, breakdancing. And I moved here to go to school, and immediately, as everybody finds out, those trains just put a halt to your day. So I used to just I get all mad when the trains go by. And then one day I started noticing that the art on the trains was incredible at sometimes. Sometimes it's just little one color throw ups and whatnot. But I've seen people that have painted entire train cars.
Yeah.
I've seen some really inspiring art go by on those trains. So once that clicked, then it got to the point to where I started trying to document them as they went by and sort of share what I'm seeing in terms of this inspiring art and maybe help shift other people's way of looking at it.
Yeah.
They're always going to be annoying, but at least you might get a little temporary entertainment out of them.
That's true. That's really, really cool. And some people even see the graffiti themselves as an annoyance, but you see them as an art form.
Yeah.
Like turning kind of the urban world into art.
Sort of that, yeah. It all has its place. I can see where some graffiti is a nuisance. I would say with trains specifically, though, it's amazing to me how somebody... I guess they are breaking the law sometimes in terms of getting access to the train. But to work in an environment that's not really conducive at all to being artistic and to still put something that'll stick in people's heads like that is pretty amazing to me.
And it travels so far, too. You never know where that art might end up or where it came from.
Exactly. Yeah. It'll take your art all over the country.
Yeah. Well, that is very cool, and your hip-hop music that you produce is amazing as well. We just heard Mission of Madness, and before we had, that one was called Head Above Water, but you can catch more of his music on his website. You've got a Spotify, Facebook, you've got several different accounts people can find you at, and that event coming up.
Correct, yeah. Chief and TheDoomsdayDevice.com is the central hub, but yeah, I'm on all the socials, all the musical socials, all the picture socials, all the talking ones. Either at Chief Doomsday or chiefandthedoomsdaydevice.com, and you can usually find me.
Gotcha. And that event coming up as well, we have it at Tantra. It is Friday about 7 p.m. And again, that one is called Escapism Plan, and the Bad Ingredients are also going to be there.
Yep.
And stay tuned for that back to school broadcast concert as well, because you may definitely be performing there.
Yeah, I'm going to give it a 99%. Sure, you never know what the future holds, but yeah, I think that's going to happen. So.
Well, we're very excited about that. We're really excited about all these upcoming events, and check him out on his website. That is, plug it one more time for us.
chiefandthedoomsdaydevice.com.
All right. Well, thank you so much again for coming in. It's been really great hearing from you, and y'all have a nice one. Stay cool out there. This has been KTSW's Other Side Drive.